has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th, and there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Trying to help.
On behalf
okay, so if you want somebody to help you, that's what I'm doing. So calm down, talk to me like civil human beings. I'm trying to help find him. I've been talking to sex offenders in the area. Okay, and I'm going to do it too, because I'm working it too. And I have that right, and the person that hired me has that right. Anybody has that right. I haven't accused you of shit.
I didn't say you did. I said he did.
Okay, well, I'm trying to decide who is on my radar and who is not. I've talked to sex offenders. That is my focus right now. In my mind, you're not a person of interest, but I'm coming here trying to talk to you.
I need him back with me.
That's my point.
Like, ma'am.
It's posted.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations about where it was, when it was, and how it was.
Chris, did you hear me say?
I need you to change your words.
I need you to change your words.
Y'all didn't do shit.
Didn't do shit. Shit.
I need you to change your words.
I need you to change your words. My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations about where it was, when it was, and how it was.
Didn't do shit. Shit.
I need you to change your words.
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversation
About where it was, when it was, and how it was.
My truck?
Shit.
My truck?
Shit.
Conversation. My truck? Doesn't need to be in anybody's conversation.
I need you to change your words.
I need you to change your words.
Y'all didn't do shit.
Didn't do shit.
My truck?
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations.
Conversation. My truck? About where it was, when it was, and how it was.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys gonna stop talking about his truck, please? Come on now. We got a big show for you tonight.
My truck doesn't need to be in anybody's conversations.
Get it.
Conversation.
Last
Conversation.
time. Last time, I swear.
My truck? About where it was, when it was, and how it was. About where it was, when it was, and how it was. That is conversation. My truck? My truck?
All right. Welcome, everybody. A little snarkiness at the beginning. Remix is coming soon. My Truck, that's the title. I'll put it out on members and Patreons. I'm working on it. It's a side project, but, you know, obviously Sebastian is the main thing, but you know what? Unleash the Kraken, because I'm ready. So much. Holy cow. Now that my eyes are now glued to the Texas Roadhouse footage, I am scanning every single pixel. You guys know me. For those most that have been here with me for a while, no, I am just relentless. And we found a big lead, in my opinion. Big lead. And now, the vehicle I'm going to show you, now, of course, it's going to be a minute till we get to that. When I show you, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I kind of thought it was that vehicle. But, you know, we need to have, like, how do we know that's the vehicle she got into? Well, after doing a little outside the box thinking, trying to think of another way to figure out how we could tell where this vehicle is, if this is the vehicle, and where it was parked. And I think we solved that. So I cannot wait to show you this. We are going to go through everything, just in case you missed the last few shows. But that'll be the main highlight. But yeah, this is big, in my opinion. Please hit that like button. And again, as always, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. As always, I'll just play the quick 1-minute recap for Sebastian's case. And then we'll get into the Texas Roadhouse and start breaking every single thing down, because when I show you at the end where the car is parked, it's going to explain everything as far as why she came from that direction and why she went back that direction, and that little sneaky area that they parked at. Little sneaky bastards they are. Pardon my language. But anyway, so let's play this recap real quick and we'll be right back. Good to see everybody.
Sebastian Rogers was declared missing and endangered, but on the next day, on the 27th, they escalated his case to Amber Alert status. Why?
This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
And we need to start with that breaking news right now. An Amber Alert has just been issued for missing Hendersonville teenager Sebastian Rogers.
In this video, I'm going to prove what caused the Amber Alert and why it's still active.
Should
I will
be down
back
in
this
the
up with literally one
Haley?
of the biggest clues many people have missed, and why certain family members and law enforcement agencies don't want you to know about this giant clue that was there all along. Welcome and get comfortable. You are now watching The Mob Crew. In this video, I'm going to prove what caused the Amber Alert and literally crush and end certain ongoing debates with a clue that is so big they don't want you to know. Chapter 1. From missing and endangered to Amber Alert. Just after Rogers was reported missing on day 1, law enforcement was seen, looking for any surveillance footage around the neighborhood of Rogers. Law enforcement would soon find out that one home did indeed capture something on the early morning hours of the 26th. That home was located here, and what the captured would become infamously known as the 3 a.m. lights. And on the next day, February 27th, sometime during the afternoon, the TBI would post that an Amber Alert was issued in the Rogers case, based on additional investigative information. This was certainly no coincidence.
Alert. And we need to start with that breaking news right now. An Amber Alert has just been issued for missing Hendersonville teenager Sebastian Rogers.
Officials tell me Sebastian Rogers is an autistic 15-year-old with glasses, dirty blonde hair, and was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants around midnight Sunday night.
Definitely increases the volatility of the situation. The medicine was there, obviously to treat his autism. So how he responds to that once the medicine is out of his system is really not my expertise. but I do know that it's going to have a negative effect on him.
Here are the criterias needed for an Amber Alert: confirmed abduction, imminent danger, targeted information, and age requirement. That's right, confirmed abduction is one of the main criterias for an Amber Alert, and it's still active. Would be commonly known as the flashlight video, and it sparked heavy speculation, so much so that eventually, law enforcement would claim that it was garbage truck lights, and Sheriff Craddock would give us the best quote of my generation.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why? Because we don't know what we don't know. There are known unknowns, and then there are unknown unknowns, which means there's unknown things that we don't know. Famous quote from Rumsfeld there. All right, let's get going here. Texas Roadhouse. Again, thank you for everybody coming in. Oops. Turn this down.
And I leave BJ's. Your sisters went their own way. I don't know what they did today.
Thank you, Canadian.
They left
It's good to see you.
I did not insinuate a name. I didn't say who.
Just clarifying, it was just me and Bubba that left together.
So you and Sebastian leave BJ's.
So
I used my Live 360 to give exact timestamps.
Okay,
to
this is the
It was
proof of life.
before noon.
gotcha. Okay. Before noon at BJ's.
Okay. So I played this. I know I've played this before. And again, this is that Heather Cohen interview with them. I think within a month of his disappearance, she was hired through Seth and trying to get their timeline. So obviously to get a picture to help try to find Sebastian. Obviously they were being difficult, but one of the things, again, it's very fascinating in that interview. I did put it on my channel and everything, and I enhanced it. The thing that they say a lot, especially Katie, is proof of life. Proof of life. And that means proof of life that Sebastian made at home.
Yes.
It's like they shoved that down your throat.
Okay.
Law enforcement has the literal, to the second.
We have been told we are not to give out exact times. And
Gotcha.
that came directly from law enforcement. We're not breaking that.
But like I said, they literally used my 360 and
They got the
knew
timestamps.
That route I took.
Yes.
They knew how fast I went.
Yep.
They knew if I did any stops, which I didn't. They know, they literally know every detail because we have upgraded 360. So they literally,
What up,
and I
hindsight?
have a thing in my car with a camera.
Yeah, the dash cam.
Not
It's not a dash cam.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where everybody's wrong.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell people what it is, but all they need
It's a dash
to
cam.
know
This
is
way,
in this vehicle, there was something that recorded a video and audio.
But law enforcement had
Sounds like a dash
multiple
cam to
sources
me.
confirm every move I made that day.
Jeez.
Okay.
Up to and
Okay.
including voice and video.
But yeah, proof of life, proof of life, proof of life.
Okay.
We went home
And after
Why
they
are they
were
so,
weekend night,
Yeah.
removed the whole time we were there.
nobody spoke to Sebastian as far as any adult.
And, it's only a month out and they're already, just dismissing any chance that a stranger could have followed them home to abduct him, major red flags everywhere.
They can't see anywhere in the videos that they were followed.
Yeah,
So if that
I
is
doubt you looked at one pixel, you piece of.
something that you're going to speculate on has been eliminated.
Yeah, I did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they weren't really able to.
About that,
About what?
that his little comment, he hadn't seen proof of life since Friday or
Insinuating
or
that
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, whenever I get a chance, I want to see how many times they say that in that interview. It'd be very interesting. Okay, so we're going to break the Texas Roadhouse down every bit because everything from start to beginning is all a story that, you need all the context because from where she comes from is going to tell you where that car was parked and then where she goes to. And then how do we know that that's the car, right? We need more than just having her walk off to the right and then we see this little black SUV drive by. I know people have pointed it out, so I'm not trying to say I'm first one to catch this, but we need more substance, right? How do we know for sure? Because we can't see her getting in the vehicle. But there are signs, and we found them. So I cannot wait to share that. And there's some interesting things. So let me just quickly get caught up with chat here. And Jazz, sorry I can't make it tonight. Be here on your next live. Thank you so much. Always supporting the channel, and thank you for gifting a mob crew. Thank you, and Jazz. Strangler. Good evening, mobsters. Ready for more bombshells at work, so I'm in the bushes, but I'm listening. 2 years too long. Find Sebastian. Yeah, we need to get that hashtag really popping, especially here within a month or so. Thank you so much. And Jocelyn, good to see you. Thanks for the hard work. Thank you, Jocelyn. It means the world. Trying to do everything within my skill set to do what I can for this case. Court reporter, has there been an investigation into KP's sus family? That's such a good question. I mean, I don't know about like law enforcement wise. I mean, probably back in the day, as far as more recent, it's tough to say how far they looked into their history, because it seems like, Sumner County, I'm sorry, but not sorry. These guys are shit. They failed. They know they failed. And I think they know once this case breaks, they're going to get exposed. And you know what? Shame on you. You guys didn't want to take the case seriously. And you guys don't want to admit to mistakes. You just want to kind of throw it under the rug. And so, kiss my ass. We'll go public. We'll send it. And for one thing, I know I mentioned, once we get this all done, we're going to send it to a certain FBI source. No, it's not Jennifer Coffin-Daffer. I've gotten a couple of emails and I've saw comments in recent videos. No, not Jennifer Coffin-Daffer. No offense to her, but no, that's someone that's actually working there. So anyway, moving on. Okay, so let's get started. The origin of Green Hoodie, where she comes out of, because that is going to be everything, especially explaining why she goes back the direction she does. So we've all seen her pop out. Now, I know some people may still think it's a man or somebody else. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm usually just referred to it as a she. Again, I can't say 1,000%. I know it's a female, but I think it leans more towards that. But so I'm just going to refer to as her. So we see Green Hoodie come out. Now, if we back up, and this is very important. Before she pops out, right, we have many, many minutes before she pops out. Actually, quite a bit. And what I wanted to see is, well, we could tell which direction she originated from if we go back before she popped out. And if we don't see her walking across this way, well, then, it's a 50-50, right? She's either coming from the left, which is north, or the right, which is south. And of course, there is nothing of her walking from the north side. So she originates from the south side. Of course, that'll be very important for when we get to the vehicle and why she came that direction and all that. So that's why I kind of played this part here, just to kind of show this is, a couple minutes. I think it's sped up just a little bit. I know someone was mentioning to check out the reflection on this. I did a little bit. I don't know if we'd be able to see any reflection from this window all the way over here, although I thought that was a great outside the box thinking. So if, I forget if it was Tessa or something that mentioned that. I looked, but I don't think the reflections would from this angle. If the car was like maybe at an angle, but it's so perpendicular straight on that the only reflections are going to be north, not northeast. If that makes sense. Okay, so Green Hoodie then originates. Right, we know that she ends up standing by the car. Of course, we're not going to spend too much time on that, but of course, sits there and loiters. I don't know if he's ever mentioned that. I would love to know. I think that would be a huge thing. But yeah, that's a great question. So, let's see here. Okay. Trying to think what I put here. And then we have the exchange. Oh, thank you, Haley, so much for the PayPal. God bless you. It means the world to me. God bless you. Man, it really, you guys are amazing. And again, I'll say it every live. I am nothing without you guys and your support. And that drives me to just want to throw everything at these guys to get these guys, the people responsible, and find Sebastian justice, and resolution for Seth. So Green Hoodie obviously goes and uses the restroom. We know that. Then the video cuts. So let's just break down quickly what would be her.
Sebastian and I leave BJ's.
What would be her? Just breaking down like what could she be doing, right? Like alternate theories, real quick, just to break these down, right? So we know that she goes to use the bathroom, right?
Your sisters went there on my own.
Let's just say this is some wanderer that transient, whatever, just needs to use the restroom, right? And well, maybe she's a little bit kind of nervous and maybe thought, could I go in and just use the restroom? Maybe I need to ask someone, right? But here she is as she walks, if that was the case, right? Just kind of crossing out, alternate scenarios. If she needed to use the restroom, why didn't she just ask that family that was walking by or this group of people, right? That just came out, because that, you could say, oh, well, maybe she's kind of timid and was wondering maybe she should go use the bathroom, but she needs to go, ask somebody, hey, you got, public restrooms, which obviously they would, but, just to cross off that. But anyway, just, all these people walking by, she could ask. So, right, that pretty much cancels that. And then, she encounters Katie. Now, second one, oops, I go a little bit further. Uh-oh. Okay. The other one, which is potentially possible, this would be the only alternate scenario, I think, would be a deal, a rug deal. Right? Although I think it's kind of stupid that you would like walk out in the public like this. I mean, people do it. I mean, back in the day when I, had a pothead, of course, when weed was illegal, had deals, but I don't think I would be doing it in front of a restaurant, especially when you have all this area back there. It just kind of, again, but people do that. They, feel like it's just natural, just kind of walk up, do a switch, whatever. It's possible. She could have gotten, something for, to knock out Sebastian, right? So there's always that possibility, just to throw it out, right? We got to look at all angles. Clearly she waves Katie back. It's almost as if she knows that, we need to get more coverage from the camera. I'm pretty sure they scouted this place because I'm going to tell you, like, all the angles that everything that happens is right off camera. Wait until once we get to the end, think about how all these little things that happen are right off the camera, as if they knew where the cameras were, as if they had scouted it before. But we've all seen, everyone's broken this down, so I'm not going to obviously spend too much, but we know she waves Katie back. We've seen people, there's been some great people that beat me to it that show her waving Katie back, and Katie kind of puts her hand on the hood, and then there's an exchange, and then this is important. There's two things that are really important. She's got her left hand up. Right hand is still in her pocket, and then it comes out. And then right after she gets out of her pocket, she has both her hands up. I don't think she's waving to Sebastian. Or maybe it could be a combination. I think it's almost like, hey, nothing going on. We didn't exchange anything, right? Look, just looking at both scenarios, right? And then this third scenario, which is burner phone swap. I mean, you could even add both scenarios, B and C, right? Handed it, you know. But anyway, just, you know, we got to look at it at all angles, right? But I think the burner phone swap is the top one, in my opinion. Yeah, I would love to know all the exact cameras, right? But obviously there's not, I mean, yes, there's cameras everywhere, but like not everywhere at the same time. And they would find, you know, if you're going to be doing this, clearly this is something that they premeditated, in my opinion. All right, so here is a negative and I'm going to go full screen on this. And this is where the burner phone and everything is going to start, because you're going to watch which side she's got the phone and then how it kind of gets switched around and everything. Promise you, this will get big. We'll get to the vehicle and all that stuff. But again, we got to get context to everything. And so here we go. I'm going to go full screen here so you guys can see it. Oops. That's not full screen. Yeah, it is. It is weird. It's almost like he recognizes her, right? Which we'll get to that. You know, we kind of talked about Green Hoodie's identity Friday, right? Yeah, took yesterday off. But yeah, we'll talk about that too, as well. But all right, let's start with the phone and let's keep an eye on it, because it's like a little magic trick, right? We gotta slow it down and see how the trick was done, right? All right, here we go. Okay, so negative up here, normal down here. They're at the same speed here. Now watch, she's going to have her left hand up, and she's going to have her right hand kind of in her hoodie pocket, as if she had just put something in there. And then quickly she's going to pull her hand up, as if she's like almost, in my opinion, going like, look, I've got nothing. There's nothing going on. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in chat. It could be both. It could be she's kind of waving at Sebastian, right? But kind of think at it, you know, look at it both angles. There, you can see her waving the hand back. And a little switcheroonie, something going on. And okay, here we go. 3. Left hand is going to be out right there. And her right hand, you can actually see the arm. That's why I did the negative. You actually kind of see her elbow. That's her elbow there. And she's actually kind of got it in the pocket. And then second I play it, you're going to notice she's going to whip out that right arm. Boom. And wave. I think, you know, you could look at it both ways. Like, she's kind of going like, look, you know, there's nothing going on. Nothing to see here. But remember, that's in her right pocket. So here's a full version. There's her hand. We can see the color of her hand. Oh, what you doing with that? What you doing with that, lady? Where'd that go? What you doing? Oh, let's put it in reverse. Oh, this is after she put up her hand, I think. And let's see. Oh, yeah, not yet. But yeah, it's in the pocket. Now, there's a reason I'm kind of putting that out, because the phone, so she's got it in her right pocket, right? This is important. And it looks like they're, I still need to kind of check out her little pouch here. But, let's see. I think I could have edited this part out. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Okay. So now, right pocket, right? All right. Then, as we go in, she's going to be on the right here. Oh, what's she doing right there? Right pocket. Hands in the pocket again. And she pulls out a phone. And she even looks down. And we'll slow it down here in just a second. So definitely they switched it. Switched something. One got a burner phone, maybe, and she had a burner phone. And just one more time. You can see, and she'll look down. She just pulled it out. And she's going to look down right here. Oh, right here. And then move forward. Okay. Now, she comes out. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of running through this because I know this is part of what we did yesterday or the last live, so I'm kind of running through this, but we need all the context right for when we get to the vehicle. Okay. So now she's exiting. Now, I think I cut out the part. For those that don't know, she was in there. Let me turn my page here. My notes. I'll come back on the screen here in just a second. So she went in at 6:24 and 25 seconds, came out at 6:29. So she was in there for approximately 5 minutes. Now, it took her about 52 seconds, so we'll just say a minute to walk to the restroom. So if it took a minute to walk to the restroom and a minute to walk out, that means she was in the restroom for 3 minutes. Now, as she comes out, there is a clear, bright light. That is not natural. That is a phone. And we see it again here. She's got it in her left hand now. Oops. Yeah, we can even see the light there. Oh, actually, no. But yeah, so that's the light of the phone. And then right here, you can really see it good here where she had it out where it was really bright. And then as if she was using it, maybe coming out. And then we can kind of see it right there. And then right here, she's kind of got it up. So definitely got the phone out. And then, of course, here, let me just go full screen here. This one was big. You can definitely tell it's the phone again. Let me go full screen real quick, guys. Yeah, you can see the light on that phone as she left hand, boom. As she's swinging her arm back and forth, you can see the light on as if she's been using it, which is interesting. All right, comings and goings. Anytime now. Comings and goings. Okay. So, context again. Comes from the south side. Be important here in a bit. We're going to slowly get to the car here in about 10 minutes. Okay, now she's leaving. Got the phone out, been using it clearly because the phone is lit up. Okay, now we all know, people have already caught this again, so but there's something I caught, I think, was it Friday that we first released this new thing? I think it was Friday. Or maybe it was Thursday. I can't remember. Starting to blend together. Okay, now this is the direction she's going, right? Now, Texas Roadhouse, their Google man hasn't been there. And I know some people sent me some videos. I just did not have time because once I cracked the vehicle, I was just so focused on that. I didn't get time to grab the video. So for those that did send video, thank you. I will eventually utilize that. But if you're wondering why she's going this way, for anybody that just doesn't know, the layout is the reason why she's coming over this way, right? So Texas Roadhouse is right here, and she comes out and she goes this way, and she's using this sidewalk to come through, right? And then she'll kind of pop into frame here in just a second. But that's why she comes to this area right here. She's using this little sidewalk path. Now, of course, before she had came this way, which will be very important for the car and everything. But yeah, so just for anybody that's wondering. Now, yeah, reflection, Harley, I love your thinking. We're going to be using some of that. There's still so much more, because there's obviously this is much longer than the 3 a.m. video, which is like, approximately maybe 4 minutes of video. So where we've got, I don't know what, an hour of stuff. So it's a lot more for me to have to kind of break through. But okay, now the latest thing we discovered, which I think was on Friday, days kind of blend in, is what she does before she goes left. We already kind of saw her go left before. People have captured that, right? But there's something else that she does, and I'm going to show you in 2 different forms, because there's actually, when you do it in the negative, you can actually see a few other details that she does, which is very interesting. And this is important because it's going to tell you where that vehicle was parked the entire time. And I promise you, once we get to the vehicle, it'll be... So, like I said, we got to build the context, build it up. But again, I appreciate everybody taking the time out of their Sunday. We're going to get it. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why Harley got timed out. Was that on accident? Anyway, maybe I missed something. Okay, I don't. Maybe I missed something, but. Thank you, Tammy. Okay. That may have been an accident, Harley. I'm not sure. I've done that before as a mod. I don't know, unless I missed something earlier. Oh, okay, you're back. Yeah, I think that might have been an accident. Okay. Okay, now let's watch. We know that she goes left, right? Here she is. And then we kind of discovered that, oh, wait a minute. She turns around multiple times. She even starts walking backwards. This is very interesting. Okay, now I'm going to do a negative because I've shown this before, but wait until we see the negative. And here, I lined it up better when she's walking back. Remember I told you guys I was going to try to line this up because there's a part where her hair gets reflected off one of the light sources, and you can see when she's walking back that it happens at that same spot. So you can tell that she's clearly communicating or looking that direction, right? So there's something there going on, and that is super, super important. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, no go. Yeah, get rid of that, Jennifer. What you just texted me, please. Yeah, that was an accident, Harley. That's happened to me. All right, okay. So let me play this. I'm going to keep it full screen for a minute. So notice how it captures, there's a light source kind of hits her head there, and it does right there. I should have moved this box over, but anyway, we kind of talked about this before, but watch when you see it in the negative. She kind of switches back and forth as if she is communicating, and I almost think what she's trying to do is, because what's going to happen is there are going to be two white vehicles that cross by, right? And I don't think these, in my opinion right now, I don't think these two white vehicles have anything to do with the case. I think she was communicating, and at the same time she was trying to make sure the vehicle that she's going to get into and had probably gotten out of was still there. But here's a negative of that. So here's a close-up, and I'll do a negative. But right here, turns around, communicating, making sure, everything's good. And I almost wonder if, because the cars are coming, here's another alternate theory. Because we're going to see two white cars go right by here in just a second, right? And I almost wonder if, because she's going to hand something off, that maybe she kind of wanted to make sure these vehicles go by before she goes and does her thing off camera. That's another way to look at it as well. Because watch, there's going to be two white vehicles. And I do wonder if she was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I make sure there's, watching what we're doing. But in the negative, again, it's a lot of it's a little bit harder to see, but you can definitely tell that she switches back and forth a bit here. You can tell the body type, especially when she's turning back and forth, because obviously, you can see the width when she's, gets a little bit wider when she's turning, and then, skinnier. Again, none with the weight. You guys hopefully understand what I'm saying. When she's sideways, obviously, yes. And then the two vehicles go by. So she's going there, but she's got her attention directed that way. And just as that happens, two vehicles are going to go by. But what we see here is, and we pointed this out before, so I'll go full screen for a second, is we can see her phone light up right here. And then also notice the headlights. And here comes those two cars. So I wonder if that may have gotten her attention. Yes, please. headlights on this. And see, if I lived out there, one of the tests I would do is I'd go there at night and I would have somebody go, you know, and what I would do is I would have, somebody film in here the same time of night. And what I would do is have somebody parked in one of these stalls and kick on their lights and, of course, get as close to the camera angle as possible and see if that happens because, again, there's no road, right? The only road is going the other direction versus where the cars would be parked. So, would make sense for, car to be over here lighting up this. So that means that car is sitting in one of these stalls and that is creating the headlights on the wall. Here's the corner of the building and yeah. I know we've already kind of talked about this, but we're just putting it all cohesive together. Now, I timestamped that the second she went off screen, which is at 6:30 and 28 seconds. And this would be another thing is to have somebody walk. I could probably just do the math with ChatGPT, probably figure this out. But then we wait, and then we see her again at 6:30 and 48 seconds approximately, give or take a second or two. So she was off screen for about 18 to 20 seconds, which would just line up with somebody walking over to a vehicle to hand something off. Right? So that's where like a whole like I guess you could say she's like a big time rug dealer and she's just making multiple deals on the spot, right? I highly doubt it. I'm sorry, Lisa. Texana is like 4 foot tall. This person is like 5'7", 5'8". I don't think so. Yeah, I promise. Yeah, it's not that person. Way too short. So she goes over there. 10 seconds one way, 10 seconds the other way, or you want to do 9 seconds one way, 9 seconds the other way. But it would add up perfectly to hand off some kind of thing, right? All right, guys, hit that like button. We're almost up to 800 people. Want Snarky Chris out there? You know what to do. But again, I would have a vehicle. I would love if I was out there to park and then put some spotlights up there and see if those would look the same as what we see right here. Oops. Line it up just right. Nope. A little bit back more. But yeah, I mean, come on. That's headlights kicking on while she's walking that direction. And she's pulling out her phone. I think she's going to hand something off. That car is going to dip. But that's not the car, obviously, that she's going to get into. Okay, so let's see. I already broke down the seconds. Broke that down. Oh, come on. Really? Hold on, my connection dropped for a second there. I have to fix it. I'm going to need to get a new PC, one of these, probably by the end of this year. I think I've had this one for just about 4 years now, and it's been a good PC, but it's starting to kind of putter a little bit. Sorry, whenever there's like a little lag, it drops the chat, so I have to redo everything. All right, let's see if this works here. Brandy, glad you said it, not me. Well, I should say that. I'm glad you said that. Because that's really important, in my opinion. Okay, moving on. We're going to get to the car. We're getting there. I'm going to go full screen here in just a minute so we can start breaking down the car. Well, you would need, either you would need to know that person's phone number, right, to be able to get the records for it. I mean, you'd have to either know their identity or somebody gives them the phone number. But if they don't have an identity or a phone, or if they don't have their own vehicle, the only other way would be geofence, and it's certainly possible, but geofence takes a much longer time than just requesting phone records. That can be done as quick as overnight. But I think geofencing takes a little bit longer because there's more, again, I'm not an expert in that, far from it, but from what I understand, that's a bigger window than just, knowing a number and getting the phone records. So yeah. Keep that in mind as far as the identity, but we'll focus on the car. We'll get to the identity and add some more stuff to it. But Brandy just brought up a great comment as well. And Dr. Pepper Princess, thank you for the 10 jewels. I forget what it equates to, but thank you so much for the support, because it helps me out so much, and it makes spending 8 hours preparing for a live show. I'm not like other channels. Everybody has their own way, and again, there's no saying there's one perfect way. There's a right way to do your live shows, or however you do it. Everybody has their own way. I like to spend hours preparing a cohesive visual representation for you guys, because that's the kind of person I am. And so, yeah, I spend hours and hours, and then especially if I'm trying to find new stuff, I'm just staring at pixels, rewinding, and rinse and repeat. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's so sweet. Okay, I'm going to go full screen because now we're going to start moving to the car, right? So here we go. Oh, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. All right, so I'm going to go full screen here because now we're going to get to the vehicle. And again, I know some people have probably thought, oh, yeah, I thought that was a vehicle she got into, but we need more substance, right? Because we can't see her getting in it. So what can we utilize to tell what she got into and where this vehicle is parked? And I think we solved that. So let's go. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And let's do this. Let's go. Okay. Now, she walks off. right? And then moments later, we see a black SUV, right? And people have pointed this out, right? So again, this isn't something, that revelation for me, right? People have pointed this out. People have done great work on this. Heinz, I mean, I wish I could shout, all the channels that have broken this down. So, right? People have already kind of spotted that. But again, we need more substance, right? So let's dive in deeper. Perhaps I should hit play. There we go. Okay. How is that such a different video that I've seen? Sebastian comes walking out and gets into a car with Green Hoodie. With Green Hoodie? There's a different video? I'm not sure what you mean you? Like, yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure exactly, like, how different do you mean? Again, this is AI enhanced. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to show every single detail, but it has a little bit more. So I wanted to show this real quick so you guys can understand where she's at. Right. So I'm overlaying a daytime to a nighttime real quick just to show you guys. And this is when she's walking this way. So you guys can understand like what's where. So keep in mind where that door is at, right? This is like the first door that they have for the back of the building. That's across the Texas Roadhouse, right? Then we go back to nighttime. We can see the reflection. It's metal and it's reflective. Okay. Now, one of the things that we're going to notice right here is she's on the sidewalk for a bit, but the first sign that she is diverting towards a direction is right here. Because we're going to see her legs block the curb. We can see the curb here. We can see the curb, right? They're kind of white. That's probably like the cement. Maybe the lights kind of, whatever lights are above, cement's got some reflective properties to it, especially at nighttime, the way it's hitting. And so we can kind of tell the curb, but we can see that here her legs are blocking the curb, which means if she was on the curb, they would just be here and she'd be higher up. So there we know that's the point where she starts diverting off the sidewalk. So that's one big tell that she is now diverting her direction. We look at it in the negative. We can see that curb even better in the negative, just nice and flush. I'm wondering what curb I'm talking about. Oh, where am I at? Oh. So we're just talking about this curb here, and this is the door, right? So she's diverting right about here, which will be so important. I'm going to stay full screen for just a minute. And I think if we finish up early enough, I may do a little members live after this. So I can answer questions and stuff for the members. Okay. So here she is, and we're going to see the same thing where she's going to, right here, we can tell she is now blocking the curb, which means she is now off the curb. We can see that's the door. So now we know where she has diverted her direction. So important. And now she's kind of walking at an angle. Okay. So that means from here, and again, this isn't an exact representation, but we know that she's diverting into that direction, right? So important. Okay. That's the door. She is diverting towards that direction. One more time. There she goes. And then what do we see seconds later? A vehicle. And again, I know people have pointed that out. But what more can we add to this? And I can tell you even where this car was parked. Okay. And I'm going to show you two things that are going to blow your mind. Okay, so one of the things, and again, somebody else pointed this out. So again, I'm not trying to take credit for it or anything. You can see that there are some lights. We got two little lights here, and then we've got some really interesting lights right here, which almost appears to be dome lights, which people have pointed out again. So nothing new. Again, that I'm claiming that, oh, I figured this part out. People mention that, but how do we know that this isn't like some kind of reflection, right? Because there's a lot of lighting from different directions. We've got a lot of reflective material. And those two dots are actually light sources, maybe coming from the Texas Roadhouse, that are reflecting. So we need to make sure that these aren't just some kind of anomaly, or not some kind of other light source reflection that is not coming from inside the car, but outside the car. We need to obviously figure that out, right? Well, how do we do that? How do we know that that's interior lighting? Because if that is interior lighting, well, that's pretty wild, because that means likely somebody just walked into that car. Okay. So how do we do that? Well, we need to do a control test. So here's that vehicle again. Notice, got a lot of different lighting here. And again, how do we know that this isn't just some kind of reflective lighting that's coming from the Texas Roadhouse, right? I need to update my video card. Okay. So before going right, we know that we have two vehicles that go that same direction. And what do we see? And I'll slow it down because that went pretty fast. You guys ready? There's the other vehicle. Well, there was something on those vehicles. Catch it? Let's slow it down. Okay. All right. You guys see it yet? This is one of many. There's more. There's much more. Yeah, Slipknot, just be careful with choice of words. I don't think my mods want to, like it. Just yeah, try not to get too like graphic, because sometimes we have Seth in the chat, and yeah, we so no offense to Slipknot, but I just be careful how wording, because none of my mods want to block anybody or remove a comment. Okay. Do you guys see the two dots? So up here is the white car, one of the white cars. You see the white dots? See the white dots, right? So that we know is just lights reflecting from probably the Texas Roadhouse. They probably have a bunch of lighting around the front of their facade or whatever. But what we don't see on the white car versus this SUV is we don't see any lighting up here. We kind of get like a little reflection up on the top there, but that could be from a lighting source from another angle because it's kind of towards the top. Lighting is everything in this. And look at that. So once the cars pass a certain point where there's no more reflective light from the Texas Roadhouse, probably maybe even being blocked by the truck, maybe depending on the angle of the light source. But it's gone. But here it's still there, right? This is super important. Now look to your right, bottom right, and I'll blow this up. This is the interior of a vehicle of that caliber. You guys see it? You guys see the match? That's the interior of a vehicle that we're looking at. Not the exact same one, but pretty close. Do you see the dome? And these are dome lights. Look how they're spaced apart. Look at that. Now, that's just one. We got more. Please hit that like button. To me, I think it's absolutely huge. Because this will fall into something that there's more. But yeah, hopefully blowing some minds here. Because that is a twin dome light on. There's more. We need to know where this car was parked, right? So we can figure that out too, right? Put our heads together. A little outside the box thinking. Let's do the same thing with those cars. And let's figure out where this car's parked. Okay, now, don't worry about what Green Hoodie's doing right now. I want you to pay attention to this wall right here, okay? Kind of pay attention to it. Just kind of keep your eyes. Don't worry about the movement, but just kind of keep your eye on the back wall. Super important. I'm not sure, Diana. I have to focus on one thing at a time. But yeah. Okay. Keep your eye on the back wall. Your eye there. Okay, one car goes by. Okay, alright. Alright, keep your eye in that same spot. I'll put the square up for you guys. This is going to be the second car that goes right by the next one. Keep your eye on that wall. Okay. Nothing. Nothing going on there. Come on, wall. What's going on here? Let's put on a show for me. Nothing going on there. Okay, well, I gotta stay on one thing at a time, guys. Stay with me here. It's coming. All right. Hopefully you guys paid attention to that wall. Now, the black SUV. Are you ready? Now she's going to walk by. Those cars have already passed, right? Now let's watch that back wall again. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Oh, what's that? I don't know why I don't have my box up. It's going to come up because I'm going to slow it down. That is interesting. Let's look at that again. Let's take a closer look at that. Okay, she is walking off screen. Pay attention to that wall. It's going to tell us everything. Wish I had my little soundtrack. Do, 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 do. Okay. Pay attention here. Huh. Mm-hmm. Boy, I'm starting to see two big balls of light. That's interesting. For a road that goes north to south, we're looking east. It's got a wall that's got some headlights on it. And then it kind of fades out. Yeah, Michelle's getting it. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, but there's more. But wait, there's more. So, one more time. And I'm going to give you an example of one vehicle and that vehicle just to show you the difference. So, there's those two vehicles going by that wall, right? Okay, on the bottom is the SUV, the white car, nothing. Nothing up here. Let's look at that in negative, and you'll kind of really see the balls of light. They're the darker it gets, that's the light. The top is the white car driving by. Actually, I think it might even be both of them. But you notice, look how dark it starts to get. You're going to see headlights kind of form on the wall. You guys catching it? Oh, yeah. Yep. Someone's got it. He's going this way. And at the same time, what are the odds that, one, she came from this direction originally, right? Is still with me here? Hope you guys didn't fall asleep here. This is big. This is so big. This is a lot of work. And again, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that help me. But yeah, I caught this morning just trying to think outside the box. I'm like, I'm going to stare at this wall and see if I can see any kind of light reflection. And again, that's coming from some ideas that people thought about reflections in other windows. So that kind of spawned me to look at this wall. So again, yeah, isn't that interesting that the car that's going to park is going to be in an area that's right next to a trash, this big thing over here, right? What are the odds of all the places this bad boy is going to park as if it's going to use this as kind of like shielding, from any camera view, right? And then just kind of sneak out. And that is literally, remember, she came this direction originally. And what are the odds? Headlights, two balls of light end up on here, and then you can see them kind of just blend in and curve over. And then you have the dome light on. Thank you. That means a lot. Like, I was trying to, I'm like, there's got to be a way to figure out where this lady went to, and where this car was parked, and that is sus as fuck. I mean, if you're gonna park behind this little dumpster area, as if you're trying to avoid some stuff and cameras, they knew the angles. Again, this is no surprise. This is the same behavior we've seen with the 3 a.m. video, right? This was hella premeditated. And thank you to Jen for the Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means the world, because I'm only getting started. I've only got this footage less than a week ago, and I think we've made some pretty major breakthroughs. Again, this is working off stuff that other people have discovered. So again, I'm not saying like, oh, I figured out all this. I'm just kind of adding substance and more validity to that vehicle being the vehicle she got into, right? Because we needed more than just, oh, when we see her walk off and then there's a car. We need more, right, to say, yeah. I appreciate that. So, more. But maybe let me see what you guys think about that for a minute, and then there's much more. Well, I want to say much more, but there's more. But what really like broke me, I mean, the headlights were huge, seeing those on the wall, but really what tickled me pink was the fact that I know people had mentioned that it looked like the interior lights were on, and then I've never looked up interior lights to that kind of vehicle. I don't know if I have the exact model. It's close. But gosh darn. I mean, look at the spacing. Again, we are looking at, from the picture in the bottom right of the interior. Obviously, we're looking at a different angle, but could you imagine if we're looking almost side face? That lines up so perfect. It's insane. That is crazy. Because I was worried that these were just reflections from, outside lighting. Yes, done it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know somebody probably sent me a video. Yeah, imagine Texas Roadhouse is like right here. I know. I don't know why they haven't been there since. But yeah, Texas Roadhouse is right here. And so, again, she's walking off that way, and then she's walking here, and that is her trajectory. And if you just literally line up her trajectory, that is, and of course, then you add in where she came from. We know that she came from this way and not this way. So you add everything up, and then you have a car that starts showing headlights as it's pulling out. Obviously, it's going to reflect on this very reflective wall. Well, not very reflective, but enough reflective material. And then you add in the dome light. Yeah. So now we need to chase this car down, in my opinion. Now, it gets it more interesting if you know what allegedly happened, and I mean heavy allegedly, because it's weird. You know, there's been so many rumors, right, all the way from back in the beginning about certain stuff, and something about BP and 2 SUVs. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard that. And we know Katie's in one SUV. What are the odds that Green Hoodie gets in a black SUV? And then there was an alleged sighting of Katie at BP with another SUV next to it. I need to, Mitch. That is literally, once we're done, that is on my list. I am gonna chat GPT the shit out of it. I've got more footage that I can look at. I'm gonna do the best I can. But again, here's the other thing. Remember I mentioned earlier. Think about this. Why is it that they know exactly where this particular camera, where its field of view is? You know? It's like they knew everything. It just happens just right off screen. Right? It's crazy. Whatever she hands off over here is just shortly off screen of this camera. Whatever she does over to the right is just shortly off camera. And of course, this SUV has been parked behind a big trash can. So just in case they thought maybe that field of view of this camera went wider. Yeah, it was done on purpose. Yeah, I definitely, again, one step at a time, but yeah, I appreciate that for sure. I totally agree with that. No, absolutely not. I mean, I think we all kind of knew that, but now I think, you know, in my opinion, I'd put it at 80. I'd even rank it up to 90% sure that's the vehicle she got into. And yeah. So we have that. Make sure and Donna, member for 14 months. Thank you so much for the support. Really, really, really helps. God bless you. Yeah, I would love to keep doing this and crack this case. We are fed up. So let's continue on, and we'll probably maybe do a members after if we get time. There's still so much more. Again, keep in mind, I have spent like my first year and a half on the 3-amp video and that whole scenario until we finally cracked that. So I am just barely getting into all this. So there's still so much more that definitely that you guys are mentioning could be going on. I see names mentioned that, yes, they could be connected. But, you know, it may take a little bit of time to kind of see what fits with these puzzle pieces that we have.
This.
Yeah. So we talked about the identity a little bit, and I'm going to give you a little bit more. And I would love to release the snarky Chris in me because I've got a lot to say with what happened in the past few days. So, the video we released on the 7th. Let's just think about this for a second. Sumner County. Child goes missing. Mother takes him to a bunch of different places, right? Now, they grab footage from the neighborhood, right? And I know they knew that the reason the Amber Alert went out on day 2 is that they saw the flashlight video and saw the 3 a.m. car. I was like, shit, this kid possibly was abducted. But you would think after, going through that, working certain angles, you would go and grab all those places that they went to that have camera footage and grab all that. They didn't do that. They didn't do that with this. His last known for sure sighting, Sumner County, TBI, but I'm just going to play Sumner County, idiots, did not grab the footage. I think at best what they did, because Seth had mentioned that he saw like a picture of him getting the car. So I wonder if they probably went to Texas Roadhouse, because I've spoken to somebody that knows this story very well. And I'm assuming what they did is they probably went, oh, can you pull up your camera and go, to the date? And then they probably took maybe, a recording on their phone, and then they showed Seth that. So just say, oh, look, he gets in the car. And then probably in between that, they probably went off Katie saying, look, I've got dash cam and audio of him in the car. So these morons trusted Katie at face value when there was already bells going off from day one that something wasn't right. And these morons never grabbed the footage. Never grabbed the footage. So then thank God Silvers, huge shout out to Silvers, goes and speaks with them nearly March, 7 months later? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 8 months. No. God, nearly 10 months. 9 to 10 months later, Silvers speaks with some people in there. And one of them's like, yeah, like we know about the case, but we're kind of worried that they haven't come and grabbed the footage. And then this is where At Night came in, and they went and grabbed the footage, thank God, which is great that they did that. And then, then they released a few kind of like snippets, right? And then December 7th is when the video went public, and then they got blown up with tips, Green Hoodie, Green Hoodie, Green Hoodie. And Seth made a comment the other day, I'll show it here in a minute, and it cracks me up because they're effing morons. So anyway, something else I was going to say with that.
This Green Hoodie guy.
So now they're getting flooded with tips. Tip lines going crazy. Seth has commented saying that now allegedly that they were kind of pissed off because now they had to do a bunch of 2 days worth of overtime or whatever, something. I'm paraphrasing, right? But they had to go in major overtime, right? Because they're getting flooded with this, right? So who we don't have. She wasn't driving the actual vehicle. They couldn't get her phone records because they'd have to know the person, right? At the beginning, before Katie's interview. And we already talked about the geofencing that would take days, right? Or longer. So, obviously, in Crispy's own words.
Do you know anything about that? Can Katie explain, or can you explain why this gentleman was next to the car? What that actual, like what was happening in that footage? Is that footage correct?
What I can tell you about that is law enforcement has talked to Katie. They've answered, she's been able to answer all their questions. And once again, there is nothing to that situation. I mean, law enforcement even put out a statement. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing.
Right.
So here, Chris admits that Katie got interviewed.
That is law enforcement has talked to Katie.
So, if you remember what Brandy had mentioned earlier, so I'll just paraphrase. I don't know if she's still in here right now. She said something happened about them going out to Virginia. And I believe Seth. I'd heard something about that before. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are amazing. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get through this. Because I'm trying to give you guys hints here. They go to Katie. Right after they go to Katie and interview her, they find Green Hoodie. Green Hoodie and Katie know each other. Somehow, some way. You know what I mean? Right? And I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying it, you know, the puzzle pieces. Because how in the hell would they find just some random transient that's wandering around that clearly didn't have their own vehicle? Didn't have a phone number to go trace, right? Katie's interview led to Green Hoodie. Right after that, they go allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly, to Virginia.
She's been able to answer all their questions. And once again, there is nothing to that situation. I mean, law enforcement even put out a statement. Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing.
Right.
Oh, you're here. I'm here. Then, miraculously, 7 days later, or 6 days later, which really means 5 days, 4 to 5 days, they find Green Hoodie in that time frame and interview him, and there's body cam. So just throwing little hints out there to you guys. Again, I don't know 1,000%, but I have a pretty good idea. One of the main players or main person.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I said that in an interview a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, thank you so much for the Venmo. I'll get a little snarky for the Venmo and PayPals. I appreciate that, guys, so much. It really makes it worth it to spend all these hours studying this. And again, I try to read as much comments as I can. I can't read everybody's. I apologize. I'm just one person. But yeah, again, this has been bouncing off everybody else's ideas and then trying to use, my skill set to kind of
out there. I am not releasing it. It's just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February. Okay. Until I came home February 26th. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. I understand.
Now, this Green Hoodie guy, do you know anything about that?
Okay.
Can Katie that footage?
As per their statement.
So here's Seth talking about this, and yeah, it would be nice to know, was it female or male? And I don't want to put him in the spot. Maybe he doesn't want to say, right? Because I feel bad for Seth because anything he says, people could twist it, could, manipulate it to fit their narrative, right? So I'd understand if Seth may not want to say if it was male or female. But yeah. But here's him talking about it, and this makes no sense. Like, think about what he's going to say right here about when they found Green Hoodie. This is absolutely bonkers. But I'm going to bring some more stuff to this here in just a minute. I'm going to go full screen real quick.
They went as far as showing me the body cam that they had made contact with the individual. They did not show me their face.
Why? Why? Is it because you would recognize them? If it was a complete stranger, think about this. If it's a complete stranger, what harm would it be to show Seth who this was? Right? If you're not going to give a name, that makes absolutely zero sense. Right? And why would you even bring him in for this? He's supposed to come in and try to identify this person, but then you're not going to show them the face, right? How does that make sense? Like, what? Why? Why'd you bring him in the first place? Is this just to show face? Like, hey, we're doing something, right? And
they did not tell me their name because they don't want the individual harassed.
I'd understand the name if it was a complete stranger, but you couldn't share their face if it was a stranger? Where in the hell does that make sense?
But they did make contact. And it is definitely nobody I know.
Begin. There's so many things, these shady ass people here. Shame on you. Absolute shame on you. Snarky Chris is coming out now. Whether or not we hit the go, Snarky's going to come out. I got a few things to say here. But yeah, again, these guys are going to get exposed. That's on them. They could come out and do a press conference, say, hey, look, you know what? We were trying to do this. That's why we said garbage truck lights, but it's not really garbage truck lights. And be real with the public. Show that vehicle so somebody could identify it. But, 2 years after, the car's probably been destroyed or it's long gone in another country because you're absolute idiots and imbeciles and a disgrace. You can go fuck your... Sorry. I don't want to get too mad. Anyway, they don't like me. I'll be honest with you. Sumner County does not like me. Apparently, they won't accept tips from me. Now, think about that for a second. Just think about that. That TBI, allegedly, and I should just say allegedly, they won't take tips from me, from Sumner County, and or Sumner TBI. So what if I actually had a breakthrough tip, and I sent that to them? If that was true. Again, we don't know if that's true, but that's kind of been like a rumor. So don't say that's like, we know that for sure. But if that was, oh my God, you guys are just digging yourselves, burying yourself, because I will have all the receipts to back it up, all the emails sent out to them, and that'll come back on them. Because when this case breaks, it will be at the top. I know Nancy Guthrie's up there right now. This case breaks, it is going to be, if it's not number one, it'll be in the top 3. Unless like World War III happens or whatever, it is going to be big. because there's going to be just so much shit. Because there's so much that happened in this case. I mean, we still like only have like maybe 5% of the picture, right? Maybe a little bit more. There's still so much we don't know, and it's so much fuckery. It's insane. And then what did they do? Because they waited 10 months to come get this footage. Well, all these other establishments that are around Texas Roadhouse, well, obviously they probably, unless they were like Texas Roadhouse, but because Sebastian was in there and they knew that was kind of his last known place, luckily, you know, there was one or more employees that saved that. But think about all those establishments that are around this place that could have saved footage, that could have gave us a much more idea of where Katie went, right? There have been tons. Everybody's got cameras around, right? But 2 years too late. You imbeciles. Imbeciles. 100%. 100%. Oh, thank you, Debutante. I appreciate that. Oops. Oh, what did I do? Yeah, I'm. Yeah. If I hadn't found what I found today, I was going to work on my Patreons and members. So probably Monday I'll have something for you guys. But because I found this vehicle and stuff, but just a little bit more on hints on Green Hoodie, right? See, what time is it? Almost 7. Yes, thanks, Jules. Yeah, it's just I knew about the SUV, but I've never fully focused because obviously I was, over by the home, focused on all that stuff going on in the cemetery, all that nonsense. So now I can now start looking into this stuff here. What am I gonna add here? Okay. So here's just, and I've shown this before. If you guys want to know the height of this person, they walk in the same thing where Sebastian does, and there's an overlay. So again, that person is slightly taller than Sebastian. Sebastian was 5'5" at the time. This person looks like they're about anywhere from 5'6" to 5'8". So we'll say 5'7" approximately. And there's KK's mother. KK's mother had short hair compared to her long hair before that. As you can see here on the right, she had much longer hair. But what's interesting is I think she dyes her hair. And this is going to be interesting. Another thing to show you guys. And we'll be getting a new photo here next month.
Happy birthday to you.
I think she's got the body type for it. Again, I can't say 1,000%. I think the Green Hoodie person is clearly wearing oversized jeans and jacket on purpose. I'm still working on the hoodie, which so far with ChatGPT, which I was gonna add, but like because of the car, it took so long time.
This Green Hoodie guy, Do you know anything about that? Can Katie
it is leaning towards Navy.
Explain, or can you explain why this gentleman was next to the car?
There are anywhere from 3 to 4 letters on the top part. Because I've ran AI and took different screenshots of where, the letters are still kind of blurred. You can kind of make out 1 or 2. But because of the size, you can tell, like, okay, well, if one letter is this big, right? Like this big, and, you only got so much room on a shirt, a hoodie, and you deduce, okay, if you takes up this much space, then, it can only be so many letters on the top part. And it's leaning towards a 4-letter word, and likely Navy. I can't say 1,000%, but likely Navy.
What that actual, like, what was happening in that footage? Is that footage correct?
And just get a little snarky for just a second. Oh, let me pause it here. Oh, running out of time on that. You're gonna crack this, Chris. Can't wait. Thank you. Love and true crime. I appreciate that. Means the world. Pamela, thank you so much. And Joe Poodle's trying to get that snarky out. I'll come out anyway, but thank you guys so much for the love and support. I'd do it irregardless, of course, but it does help me because obviously this is my job. So just add another little thing here, because I told you guys that we're gonna try to bring out documents that we've been working on for what feels like a year now. And we're going to do it in potentially 3 parts. That way we don't throw it out all at once. We want to try to gain traction with one big bombshell and then feed that up with 2 more. And those will all be parts, kind of like the complete story. And all of this stuff that will be out will all kind of go out on YouTube and then Twitter. And then, of course, all of this will be sent to law enforcement. So we'll have receipts. So now, I've been saying, we have different little factions, the Sebastian army. We have little factions. And I agree, some people may not agree on the same views. I mean, I think we all agree that, Stinkfeet were involved, but I think we may have differences on how that happened. I think we need to put our differences aside and come together, right? Especially for this big push. But, a certain content creator, because after I did the hoodie identified, they put this out and said GH identified and got Cone in there. Yeah, I would laugh. If this case was kind of like solved, I thought, that would be funny if this was, and I love Conan, so, it's kind of interesting. But again, can we come together, right? Let's be adults. A lot of people play my stuff, and I'm fine with that. Credit or no credit, I don't care. I think we need to come together, right? Like, you can take my work and maybe you can try to add to it somehow. And again, this is only going to a certain few, right? But I think we need to band together, right, at this point for Sebastian, because put our differences aside, right? But God bless you. for putting this out because holy shit. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I got another thing. You guys ready for this? And if you know who put this out, please don't put the channel in the description. We need to band together and, yeah, anyway. Again, this would be hilarious if we had, cracking the case and, yeah. But I don't know. I think it was a little early for this. But it did help me for something. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go full screen on this. I got to take a sip here. Because I actually had something interesting when they did post this. So it's kind of ironic. Okay. So that's Mama, right? Notice her blonde, bright white hair, whatever. And again, it's tough to say because we can't see like the back, but it looks like it had been short and it's starting to kind of grow out compared to if you've seen like there's photos, people know how to find them. We have a team. She had much longer hair before this one, which came out and it's about 5 months after he went missing. So it'd be kind of interesting. That would have probably grown out to that point, right? Thank you guys. I appreciate the love and support. But this is where see, I'm going to use your work, or I guess if you call this work with the Conan thing, and I'm going to try to be productive with it, right? Let's be grown-ups, right? It's enough fighting the morons on the other side, and I mean the creators that think the Stinkfeet are innocent, not the people that follow them, because I don't blame them. Again, it's kind of like politics, in that sense. But we're talking about like Cluminati and crew like that. Okay. Well, so notice her hair, right? Okay, well, let's take a closer look here. Second here. Oh, let me turn this off for just a second. Just a second. Do 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 do. Oh, what is this? Oh, there's Mama. Oh, what's that say? I know it's a little bit small, so I apologize. I should have blown it up there. What is her alleged natural hair color? After we just saw this Conan thing. Look at the hair of Green Hoodie. I'm gonna play that again. Look at the way sometimes the light captures. Whoa, too far back. Look at the hair. Her natural hair is red or auburn. And look at that. I mean, I could blow this up a little bit, but look how it catches the light there. I mean, to me, if I just saw that, I would say that's a redhead right there. You catching on what I'm saying here? Donna's getting it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Uh-huh. So thank you to that creator for the Conan thing. I think it's a little early for that. I'm trying my best. But boy, that did actually bring out something that I'm like, wow, interesting. Because yeah, it does look like it's been dyed. changing hair color. Absolutely. Yeah, that's not red or auburn. But the way that catches the light with Green Hoodie, kind of looks kind of red to me, or auburn. So, yeah. Kind of interesting. Yeah. Yeah, yep. Um, yeah, there's Seth saying that they spent 48 hours of overtime finding GH and interviewing them again, and that's right after they interviewed Katie. I mean, they interview Katie, they find them. Something happens in Virginia. I don't know if you noticed where Mama's from. Oh, I didn't put the address because I didn't want to be, but for those that don't know, her mother lives in Virginia. Again, I can't say 1,000%. I know that's Francis, but my gosh, there's a lot of evidence to support that. Last thing. So now we're pretty sure that Green Hoodie got into a SUV, right? Well, there was a sighting, an alleged sighting, and it's just interestingly enough, it's 6 minutes. There's allegedly 6 minutes of audio that came from a very credible source. That is, everything else they have told me has been backed up in some way or form. Everything that with the 3 a.m. that I brought to you, that's is all from the more or less the same source. Then we have the BP, where they allegedly saw Katie in an SUV with another SUV next to it. Well, do you think that, are we starting to get the puzzle pieces put together here? That it seems like a lot of these rumors that we've heard for a long time, when I was working on the 3M video, and, and originally I had it, I was off, right? I thought it was a silver sedan, and I thought he made it home and he was being transferred out. And now in my opinion, I do not think he made it home at all. But all those little rumors that we kind of heard around that area, more or less, most of them panned out in one way or another. So, is it too much to think that the rumors that we've heard about BP, and it wouldn't be odd for Katie to go, because she obviously did a lot of driving that day, to go stop at the BP, and then they exchanged Sebastian out of the vehicle. And yeah. And then, of course, the reason why you have the 3M car is because they got to bring the clothing that he was wearing at Texas Roadhouse back. Remember? Because those shoes ended up back at the house. And that was their way of showing proof of life that he made it home. But I think they overthought that and didn't realize that having all of his shoes there, that he's going to go wandering out barefoot, would be stupid. Which just shows you these guys aren't career criminals, right? They made mistakes left and right. They're there. But we had an incompetent Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Oh. Okay. I got a pretty good tip there. Okay. Whoa, that's interesting. Sorry, I got a little tip there. Something to look into. Anyway, I'll answer a few things and then we'll do a members live real quick after this. Just kind of maybe a half hour, 45-minute members live, and then end it there. The truth is due for Sebastian Rogers and Seth. Facts. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that so much. God bless you. We will get it. And if these idiots don't want to do anything, then we're just going to blast it all over social media. And we'll send it to a source in the FBI. And yeah, let's just say in theory that, and if this was her mother and she's in Virginia, I don't know if that, because of that, would that allow FBI to take lead? Again, that's a little out of my wheelhouse, but I do wonder how that would, if that would open the door for FBI to say, okay, we're taking over. Because once it crosses states, then, and they have evidence to prove it, then I think that should allow them to take over, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a little more nuance to it, but yeah, we'll wait on all that right now. Let's get more stuff discovered, and again, when it's time, we will definitely. Can you guys hear me? I think everybody can hear me, right? Yeah, across state line, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I think it'd be huge if it was the mother, then because that means she would have to cross state lines and go back. Why was she there? Yeah. Yep. All right. I know there was a lot of comments, and I'm sorry. I'm always more of a presenter first. I sometimes I try to kind of pause so I can read chat. Thank you, Geneva. Yeah, I am. That is behind the scenes. Still trying to break that hoodie down. Like I've got it. I've got a good portion of the letters, which it's pretty close to Navy or U.S. United States Naval Academy, USNA, on the top. The main suggestion from ChatGPT is that some kind of naval hoodie, Navy hoodie. Which again, then that just reiterates Katie and or Crispy's family. But yeah, pretty cool to see that car. I'll start to get that model of the vehicle. I don't know if, AI is getting better every day. And yeah, I have more footage. So much that I've got to go over. So there could be stuff before Katie arrives, where they may have tripped up somewhere. And we need to keep an eye out for this vehicle. So I would definitely say that. I'd put 80% for sure that Green Hoodie got in that vehicle. Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I mean, yeah, I appreciate that. No, I think no, she's not on any kind of probation, because that happened in 2002. So I'm sure maybe 3 years. I have no idea. I'm just speculating. 3 years of probation, whatever. So that happened. The RSO thing happened in 2002. So yeah, but she's on the registry for the rest of her life, of course, and has to be updated every 2 years. Yeah, if anybody knows for sure and wants to email me, I mean, please don't blow up my emails, but yeah, I'll start running AI on it here soon. And then we'll try to hunt this car down just like the other ones we've done. And see what we can find out. All right, guys. I'm gonna switch over to a members live. So give me about 10 minutes to set that up. We'll just do kind of like a short half hour, maybe 45 minutes. Mods, if you want to join again, I know I've already gone 2 hours. I apologize. But that way, anybody has any questions, maybe we can do a few things behind the scenes on this. So. All right, guys, and I have gotten some pet pictures. Again, this is just for members. I am working on that, so hopefully we'll have something new for by the end of the week, we'll say. But thank you to everybody, members. If you want to join, give me 10 minutes. You'll see a link. I'll post it on the Facebook page as well, and we'll see you guys there. And for the rest of you, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Maybe live tomorrow. We'll see. If not, Tuesday. Because I think I need to work on some stuff for the members and Patreons. So much love to you guys. I'm gonna do a pet outro, and we'll see you guys real soon. Much love.
Got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you. Now you beg me, please. Hey. Now I stay away. You were never meant to save me. Now I stay away. I'll hear you say you're sorry.
And thank you, mods. God bless you guys. Sensei, Coop, Pocahontas, Jennifer, Jocelyn. God bless you guys. You in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you. Now you beg me, please. Hey. Thank you, Curly, for coming to member. I missed that. Sorry.
Now I stay away. I'll hear you say you're sorry.
I'm looking into that, Sasha.